All right, we're going. We're good now. I don't know what I'm gonna call this, so I'm not even gonna introduce it like anything. Guys, I'm here with Natalie. Natalie's my friend from the internet. I don't want to say much. She's my friend from the internet. We met over the internet. She's my genuine friend though. Like Natalie's like one of my best friends. And like I figured because she's almost like in some ways the girl version of me. So like I wanted to bring her in to talk about DMs because Natalie's got some experience with DMs because she has like famous people sending her DMs and stuff like that. And you know me back in the day, I used to be international with these DMs. I'm not like that no more, but I was all over the country with these messages, you know. So Natalie, do you want to like give them like a shout out to your Twitter? Do you want to be all private and stuff like that?
Um, okay, first I want to start off by clarifying I am not the girl version of Devon. You're gonna give me a bad reputation out there. Um, I don't know what to talk about. Let's see. My Twitter, I think 60,000 followers. I have no idea how, but it's cool.
And then she don't really put herself out there on IG or nothing like that. But if you guys follow her Twitter, I'll have it LinkedIn, wherever it's at, and I'll have her tagged as well. And you guys can go check her out if you're into like some like quirky little tweets that get retweeted a bunch of times and a lot of people agree with. Natalie, how often? How many DMs you get a day?
Oh my God. A day. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe like 60 at the most.
At the most? Is that
Mm-hmm.
like a normal day? You get like 60?
Yeah. I mean, when a tweet gets really big,
Yeah.
I get more. And of
Okay, let's
course,
talk about from dudes though.
oh, yeah. I yeah, I do. I get the typical
But what's
unsolicited.
typical, right? So like, okay, I'm gonna say this. I don't know what typical is because I feel like all dudes are different. I used to have a structure, I guess, but,
Mhm.
but you know, I'm not out in these streets like that no more. So I don't know what dudes do now. I don't know what
Well,
they.
yeah, 'cause it's a pandemic. None of us
But what are dudes saying in your inbox? Like, what do they do? They just hit you up and they're just like, "Hey, what's up?" Or like, you up?
they no, not in those are on Instagram.
Yeah.
So typical messages would be like, "Hey, um, I really like the tweets. Do you have any advice? I really like the way you express yourself. I love to get to know you." And then there's like the unsolicited pictures, of course, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um
Are they
it's just
just trying to do you feel like those dudes that are just like they're trying to funnel you into like getting your number or something or what? The ones that are like, "Hey, I really like your tweets, blah blah blah."
funny because some of them do just they don't even say anything. They just send me their numbers. And I'm like, "Do you really think that I'm just going to text you?" And I guess I mean, I'm not trying to steer them like away from not doing that. I'm not shooting them down or anything, but it's just like I'm wondering if that works with other people.
It has to, right? Like maybe it worked with one person, they just keep sending the same thing because there's no way that like I don't know.
Right, because I know with women, I know it definitely works. I've done it. It definitely works. Um,
But
and I'm
what works with a dude though? Like what would work to get some dude for you to respond back?
For me personally, probably something funny. 100%.
Or they had to have a bunch of followers?
Not necessarily. No, no, for me, no, not at all. For me,
Well,
it's the
no, because you
opposite.
got some followers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but for me, I think it just has to seem like a real account. There has to be pictures just to give me something to work with a little bit so he doesn't come off as a creep. And I think that's big for women. Women don't want to feel like they're talking to a creep. They just want to feel like they're talking to someone who's normal, down to earth,
It's
real.
it's gonna have a normal conversation with them.
Yeah.
So just like if there's no format or structure you feel like that could like get you to respond. Because I'm assuming there's people that probably don't look like creeps that you won't respond to.
That's true because I would be like, why the hell are you messaging me? Like, what do you have anything in common?
Yeah, I feel like the premise of a DM for the most part is if someone's not following you or if it's just out of nowhere or if they never comment on your stuff, like it seems pretty like I don't know, to the point, like they're just trying to hit on you. You know what I mean? Or that's at least that's what it seems like.
And consistency. My thing is, I will notice, believe it or maybe it's not for other people, but for me personally, I actually, despite having so many followers, will notice the consistent ones.
I see. I see.
So if they respond enough, if they engage enough, believe it or not, you will get noticed.
Hmm.
And the responses, I know there's this one guy who tends to respond to my tweets and he'll message me. And I don't really engage in the DMs, but I know when he responds to my tweets, it is a I do engage because he seems normal. Like, okay, he's genuinely giving me an answer. So I'll say like, "Hey, does anybody know a good restaurant in LA? Or what do you guys recommend for this movie on Netflix?" And when he gives me legit answers, it feels like, oh, okay, he's normal. He's not being a weirdo. So it does make me want to talk to someone more.
Is he a good looking guy?
I have no idea what he looks like.
Oh, he's got like a blank Twitter avatar or what?
I think it's just some like anime thing, but his tweets, he seems, I mean, he's intelligent from
So
what I,
you've went and actually looked at his account.
yeah, because like I said, he's responded enough to where I recognize, like, oh, okay, I know, well, I don't know who that is, but I've seen that account.
Yeah, like you know his internet persona basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like, do you feel like there's something that dudes can do to give them a little bit more? Obviously, there's no formula to get some to pick up some girl on the internet, but like, do you feel like there's a formula or structure that they could like stick to that will help them have better conversations or at least start conversations in DMs with girls or nah?
Yeah, 100%. I think that if you talk to her and not see her as, oh, I want to really get this girl, and just see her as one of your friends and just be completely normal. Of course, it's subjective. Every single woman is going to want a different,
Yeah,
approach.
for
But,
sure.
but I feel like if you like just talk to her about normal stuff and give just sound like you're just legitimately wanting to talk to her and not hit on her like, hey, are you looking for a man? Hey, are you single? Hey, you look good. Because women hear that all the time.
Yeah, I know a lot of like see like good looking girls now online, especially when they like just I don't know, when they're pretty normal. Like there's a lot of like obviously attractive like women on the internet, obviously, just in the world, and a lot of them are on the internet. But it seems like the attractive ones when they actually just post stuff and they're funny or they have some type of talent or whatever, that they have like an army of simps that just ends up like
Exactly.
in their notifications and like I can never because I'm not gonna lie, like I read a lot of comments just because we all do. I read hella comments from like on people's accounts and
Mhm.
like it just looks like people are trying to plant the seed to funnel a conversation with these people like oh your paintings are so great or oh you're so good at whatever talent they have. There's all these like I don't want to say they're disingenuine, but I don't know, it seems like people are like so obvious and not genuine with their approach. That's why I always wonder, I'm like, is there anything that like is there an open line that dudes could say in like a DM or anything like that? I'm all asking you to give people answers on how to like pick up girls.
I mean, like for me personally, I'm more inclined to respond to someone asking me a legitimate question, like, "Hey, do you know a good restaurant in Las Vegas?"
Yeah.
Versus someone who says, "You look really good in that dress." Like, I know I look good in that dress. I wouldn't have posted it if I didn't look good. But um, yeah, I think if someone were to even randomly tweet at me and message me or whatever, and just start a conversation, not necessarily respond to my tweets and just reach out. It sounds like, they really value what I have to say, in my opinion. So, of course, I'm going to want to make that recommendation because I feel like there's a reason why they came to me specifically for that. Um, and then it'll just be nice. I do get lots of messages though from people asking me, like, hey, even women, just like, what do you recommend for this? Or do you have any good beauty tips or
Yeah.
stores you recommend? And I feel more inclined to respond to those versus the ones that are just, they seem very superficial and
Yeah. So basically some dude's just too straight up about it unless he's just like some like ridiculously good looking like model with like a verification mark and got a bunch of money, like you or any other girl's probably not going to respond. And even if you do, it doesn't mean it's going to be a full on conversation, right?
No, because if he sent it to me, he probably said the same exact thing
It's
to
true.
five,
It's true.
15 different girls. He's just waiting to see which one is going to respond. And every single woman already knows that. So,
That's true. That's true. So there's no like, there's no, I know people are superficial in general, right? So, but it almost doesn't matter, right? Like if you get a celebrity,
mhm.
like even they'd have to be like a pretty high ranking celebrity for you to even continue on that conversation or what? Like you'll have a conversation with it, right? But I mean, like it's not like you're entertaining it so much, or maybe you will. I don't know. Like, what is there like is there a level of clout that someone can have to message you and have you be like, this is interesting. I know they're sending this message to a lot of girls, but maybe I'll respond.
I guess it's the way they convey the message too.
If it's Chris Evans, what's that
What?
dude's name? What's that dude's name that you like?
Yeah, Chris Evans. I
Basic
mean,
looking dude.
no, he's not. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If he messaged me, he could send me like a comma, I would respond. I'll send the whole like Bible verse in. Like, no, I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, having a lot of followers helps, not necessarily because of, oh, he has a lot of followers. It's also, like I said, you are real. It shows that you have all these pictures of yourselves, and it gives people something to work with. The more information, it tells me, like, okay, like how old is he? Where does he live? What does he like to do? What are some shows he's into? So it gives women a little bit more to work with versus someone who doesn't really have much of an online persona. And it's creepy, like I said. It just comes off like I don't know if I want to respond to this person who has 15 followers and no pictures, and I have no idea who could be behind those pictures.
When I was like younger, and I mean like younger, because I'm gonna make this clear. I'm not out here like this no more. Like as far as like sending these types of messages, you know what I mean? When I was younger though, I would like almost send like a backhanded message or like not an insult, but I would say something like I don't know, like if I knew she was from the valley, let's like say she's from the area I live in, right? I would say something like, "Oh, you look like you're from Modesto," or like, "Oh, like you would like," or I'd take like a picture and send it to her that she was in, like send one of
Oh,
her own pictures to her and be like, "You would be wearing this type of jacket or something like that." And I would get responses like all the time. And I don't know if it's because like maybe these girls just liked douchebag guys or what, but it worked back then.
I think it's just our insecurity jumping out, and we want all the smoke right there and then. I know for me, like if somebody says something, I will, but that was like you said back then. Now I just block people.
It's true.
Just block them, like whatever.
I wouldn't be willing to try that. I don't really send DMs like that. I'd be a liar if I said like I've never sent a DM or I haven't in a while. You know what I mean? Like I'd be lying, but I also don't. It's weird. As I get older, I guess not even as I get older, just as we get deeper into the internet and like dating for what it is now, like it's almost like the DM doesn't seem like a very solid place to start a conversation, but also it's like where else do you do it? You know what I mean? You got an army of simps in the comments on every good looking girl's like account. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
how do you even make that work? Is it even possible to make it work over Twitter or TikTok or Instagram? Like to make
Yeah.
that conversation?
Yeah, like I said, consistency. Eventually you will stand out because she sees a lot of guys commenting or approaching her every single time she posts something. And you just have to be consistent and not necessarily comment or engage every time she makes a post. Comment an old picture she posted along, a week ago or a month
Oh,
ago,
that makes sense. Yeah.
and comment on that specific photo. Comment when she's not necessarily live on Instagram, because people are always on their phones. They're always looking at notifications, and your notification, if you send it when she's quote unquote offline, she's more likely to see your comment right there and then versus when she just posted a new picture, because hundreds of notifications are coming in at once. So for me, when I post something, for example, on Twitter, I will get tons of replies, quotes, retweets.
Yeah.
And then when I go back into my notifications, I'll go back and read something, and then I notice someone randomly sends me a tweet, and I'll be like, oh, okay, they sent it when I haven't tweeted in 2-3 days, and that one stuck out to me because it's not being flooded by that instant engagement. Does that make sense?
100% makes sense. It's just like it's a very tactical thing to do. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, and I've done it and it works. I've had 100% success rate. I will notice that I'm not gonna say anything.
come on, like,
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
it's
say
different for a girl though. You got 100% success rate, of
no, it's
course. It's
not.
like,
Women
come
are
on.
women actually on the internet, women are way more bold and they're more.
But I'm saying, like, if you send a D, you're talking about sending a DM, right? Like, you have 100% success rate. Like, if you send a message to somebody, like, they're gonna respond back.
I, I don't know.
You don't know what it's like out here, Natalie, for males. I'm not saying me. Again, I'm not like that. I'm just saying.
Well, okay, for me, 100%, and I'm only saying this because it has happened. I will
Yeah.
send a message or I will comment on someone's picture, and they won't necessarily see it right away when they first post it. But then I notice, like, okay, let me tag. Okay, I'm not gonna say names, but I tagged a celebrity on this video of this dog, of this really cute dog, and I tagged them randomly. They had not posted in like a week. I tagged them randomly and they saw it. They liked my comment and I freaked out because like, oh my God, I didn't actually think they were going to see my comment. So then I started using that same formula with other stuff. I'm like, wait, let me try it with my friends. And I noticed that I would start commenting old pictures or messaging. And I would do it when they weren't online. Well, when I say that they're not online, I mean they didn't just post a picture 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It works, because people are constantly on their phone. They're constantly reaching out. And if you really want to get somebody's attention, you really want to get somebody to notice you, definitely do it when you think they're offline, because 100% of the time they are not. They're still online. And here's another trick. Do it on their platform where they have the least followers.
It's a good point. It's a very good point
Yep.
because
I'm
they're
giving away all the secrets right now.
that's a good point because like I've done that before on like, but I wasn't doing it on purpose, but it makes sense, right? Like I've now that you say that, I noticed that, right? Like, so I've commented on people's pictures before or on TikToks or whatever it is. And it's true. It's like if it's like 11:30 at night and like they posted something like, I don't know, 10 hours ago, it's like usually like you'll get that like instantly like that or that comment or whatever. Even if like just even with friends, I'm not even saying it's like, let's say I'm not even talking about a girl, it just could be anybody, right?
Right.
That's such like a good like tactical
Here's another
point to
one.
make.
This one is 100% effective too. I've tried it. There is this actor that I follow, not Chris Evans, this actor that I follow. And also, this is something you can do. Check to see if they have additional accounts. Like some people will have a separate account for their art, for their dogs, for their
It's true.
food.
Yeah.
This specific actor, he had a separate account where he posted a lot of his paintings and he said, follow my other account. His main account has 1 million followers. His art account has like 600 followers. I followed him on there. He followed me back. And so I started commenting on his pictures. He started responding to me. And then he messaged me on his big main account. So I set myself on a mission to say, okay, I want this person to notice me without me coming off desperate, because all of his comments were constantly women sending heart emojis, and it was beautiful women, women in bikinis, women that were gonna stand out. And here I am with a picture. You guys have seen my picture. It's just nothing. There's no selfie there.
Yeah.
So I said, how am I going to stand out without coming off desperate or thirsty or whatever? And so I was like, okay, I followed his smaller account, which he seemed to be way more active on. And clearly, because of how very little followers he has, he's not getting as many notifications. But he still sees the notifications because he gets pinged on his phone. So I said, okay, I'm going to go crazy on this account. I'm going to like the next 7 pictures and comment and ask serious questions and say, hey, was this painting based on this artist? So do your research. I'm not saying be a stalker. Don't be a stalker, but sound like you're genuinely like, oh, okay, she's serious, asking a serious question. She's not
Sure.
trying to be a simp here.
Yeah.
But I was totally being a simp, but I wasn't trying to come off as one. And it worked. I got him. I got his number now. So I do.
That happened to me. Well, I wasn't doing it on purpose though. So it's funny you said, literally happened to me like last week. So there was this like not weird. It was actually a pretty good account, like, but there was this girl and she was doing voiceovers over all text, but there's no pictures on there. It's just like all either design or like little videos. But there's literally no face, no nothing to it. It's got like same thing, like 400 or 500 followers. And
Mhm.
but I literally stumbled on it just like randomly. I think it's because I was doing a bunch of voiceovers on my videos, so I was getting fed content where there's voiceovers, right?
Mhm.
So I commented on it and I was like, "Oh, this is dope." And like literally just sent a DM just to be like, "Hey, these are dope. Keep doing it." Because like I know that like I appreciate random DMs like that, you know?
Mhm.
So I was like, I'm just gonna pay it forward, you know what I mean? So I do that, and then I just get the string of messages talking about like making content or whatever, right? And then like an hour later, like I get a like on the comment from the original post that started the whole string of it, right? And
Mhm.
the like was from a username that looked semi similar to the one, and then it was like this girl that like is in like a famous group of like not even influencers, like just people in LA, you know what I mean? That she's got like almost 1 million followers or whatever. And like I was like, what the heck? And then she had that account linked in her whatever bio, but it's like because there's not all kinds of pictures of her in bikinis and doing all kinds of stuff, nobody cares about it because it's just her art account, you know? So
Mhm.
I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like I wasn't going to use that as an opportunity to creep, but I was like, now when you say that, I can connect the dots. I'm like, oh, maybe if I ever get desperate enough, I'm gonna start doing that. Not that you're desperate for doing it, but you know what I mean.
Right, you have to be tactical, and it happened with one of my favorite accounts too. I knew that this girl had tons of followers on Instagram, and I just followed I followed her on another platform where she had very little followers, and she noticed my account, she followed me back, and then ended up following me on Instagram. So um, definitely look for little loopholes to where you can be noticed if you want this person's attention. And just make sure you come off genuine and not say the same exact things, that they probably always hear. Because the the higher the follower account you have, you're gonna hear the same exact things. It's mostly guys simping or companies trying to advertise or just bots. So try to say something that they're not going to hear. And for me, I dated this guy a long time ago, and we literally met online. He said, hey, I watched this movie and it reminded me of you, Natalie. And I was like, whoa, I don't know you. Why does this remind you of me? And then he explained, like, oh, just I remember you saying a long time ago, you did this, this, and this. And I was like, okay. So then I got curious. I watched the movie, whatever. And then I reported back to him and I was like, hey, that I really like that. Thank you. He's like, here's some more if you want to watch them. And then that's how the conversation started. So, like I said, just come off like you actually.
Want to, even though if he's kind of messy, he might be kind of hitting on you, but it's a little bit different if they're just like trying to
Right.
treat you like a normal person.
It doesn't come off that way though. The intention is there, but it's not in my face. So
I
just
see.
remember that. Set the intention, but don't be desperate.
I see. I see. So like, do you look at dudes' profiles? Like the ones that DM you, or not even just the ones that DM you? Like, do you like I know we all stalk random profiles, like people we don't even know, but like do you really get deep into like different
I
dudes'
don't know.
profiles?
Me, I don't know.
You're a liar if you say you don't. You're lying. I know
It-
we all do. I'll admit to it though. You know what I mean? Like I told someone the other day, I was like, I kind of creeped on your profile like hella far, like, but I have no shame because this is like the truth. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to be a creep about it. You know what I mean? I was starting like a normal conversation, but like it's the truth. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I don't know. Do you do that? You know?
Yeah, of course, because I want to see, especially if the message is very, like if they put effort in the message, absolutely.
Do you creep on like just your normal followers profiles? Like do you actually like look like people that are following you randomly, do you like go there and look at their pictures and stuff like that when you get bored?
I'm gonna be honest, yes, but I don't as much anymore because every time I would click the profile, and I don't know if you know if you're gonna know what I'm talking about, but I would click on a account that responded to my tweet or liked my tweet, and I thought, oh my god, he is so fine, like he looks so good, and then I would click the account, and it was somebody. It was, you know, those accounts that have pictures of celebrities
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
as they role play. I don't know what that is, that whole community, but
yeah. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I was like, wait, that's that guy from whatever movie, you know? I'm like, oh, that's not a real guy. That's that one actor, but
Someone playing him in like a weird internet fetish game type of thing.
yeah, and so I just don't
But
bother anymore. Um,
I creep on so many profiles. I go on so many, but you know what too? I think it's pretty normal. I feel like, or I'm just saying that to make an excuse for myself. Like it's hard not to like. It's so innocent too. It's like if you see someone on the internet, you're like, oh, this girl's cute. You're gonna go look at their stuff, or for you, like a guy, like if you think someone's cute, you're gonna go look at the stuff. You might not ever comment on it. You might not ever message them. You might not even follow them. Honestly, you might only
mhm,
look at that profile once. And you'll never remember them again. But like it happens. At least for me, it does.
mhm.
I don't know if you do that. Maybe I'm just weird.
No, I think I have to like the person for them.
You don't look at nobody random profile like that. Like you don't just be scrolling your explore page and you're just like, I'm gonna look at this person. Or like, oh, this person, I don't know, they're good looking. I'm gonna go look at their pictures for like the last like month. Oh, look interesting. That's
No,
it.
no,
Never follow them.
no, not for me. Like I think it's girls for the most part. If we really like a guy, if we're dating a guy, we'll dive deep into his cousins, neighbors, teachers, like,
Mm.
you know, we'll go that deep. But if it's just some random guy, he looks cute, I'll
Keep it
scroll
moving.
through like the first pictures and then I'll see how many followers he
Mm.
has. And then I'll see what kind of women he follows. And then I'll be like, all right, I'm over it. So
That's crazy because I feel like dudes are the opposite. Like I know at least for me, it's I'll never dive that deep. You know what I mean? Like I just won't.
because men are creeps, so women have to.
Well, but it's also like this too. Like, but I'll play the volume game. Like I'll look at hella accounts. I'll be like, oh, that girl's cute. That girl's whatever, right?
No,
But I'll never be diving in deep to try to figure out someone's social security. You know
see
what
that,
I mean?
but that's what I said earlier. You just like because men send the same exact message to 15 girls,
Mm.
they're just waiting to see which one responds. And I'll know if he's that type of person based on the type of women he follows. Cause it's like, oh, okay, you want to know why? Because men have a type as much as they say they don't. So if I go through his followers and I see he's following 7 girls with black hair and the same exact hairstyle and these women are wearing the same exact bikinis, I 100% know, like, okay, he said the same exact message to these women. And
I don't
you're laughing because you do that.
know. I know. I definitely don't. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll make this clear. I am not out here sending DMs like some simp. I'm not. Let me
Not
make that
anymore.
clear. I'm not. I'll make that clear.
Not anymore.
What'd you say?
Not anymore.
I'd never be sending those simp messages. Never in my, I was all or nothing. I was just like douchebag back in the day. And I just ended up being like that for a long time, dated someone, and now I'm just normal. Like I'm not out here like
Okay, now my question for the Sims. What what makes them a simp? Why is he a simp? Just because he sent a compliment and it makes them look like, what is that?
so let me explain this because I think that this is I thought for a while it was blown out of proportion, but I will be honest, and there's no shame in it. If you're one of these dudes, cool. Like it's better to be one of these dudes than the one that's sending all kinds of disgusting pictures in the DMs unsolicited. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
100% it's better to be one of those dudes. You don't want to be sending pictures of yourself to people. That's just you don't want to get there. Um, what I'm saying is the simps are the ones who they're being honest, right? They'd be like, "Oh, you look so pretty in this, blah 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 blah." Blah. But it's like they're sending like compliments out there, hope like genuinely hoping it's probably gonna lead to some type of conversation or that they're standing out. And
Oh,
like it's not even so much that it's when they're doing it on a thread where there's like 50 other comments saying the same thing. So it's like, let's just say this. If I decided to give some girl a compliment in a comment thread,
mhm.
number one, I wouldn't be saying the same thing every other dude says in those threads. You know what I mean? Like, how am I going to stand out with that? You know, also, I don't think I would even want to do it in the first place if every other dude sending a compliment. It's like, how am I going to stand out? The only thing that is going to separate you from them is like hoping that you aesthetically are their type. You know what I mean? Like you're hoping that they think you're more attractive than the rest of the dudes if you're saying the same thing, right? I mean, I don't know. Other than that logic, I don't know what else would come from it. But yeah, that's like what a simp is. Like those dudes that are just part of the army of compliments on comment threads, hoping that they're going to stand out, even though they're saying the same thing. Just my opinion. Or those dudes that send Venmos along with their compliments, hoping that that's going to keep a conversation going.
Oh, you want a girl? Yeah, go straight to the Venmo. Like, hey, no, I do that to mine too. Okay, my Venmo is made of silk. Say hi to a girl. You can just say like, you can literally say you look like a bitch, but you send a Venmo of $50. We can talk about my whole day, and that literally works for every girl. I know. I swear to God, you message a girl, you don't even have to say anything. Like, forget the formula that I just said earlier. No, just you want to do like if you want to go on X mode, like skip all of that, go all the way to the top. Just like Venmo that girl for even $20. That's iced coffee, right? Starbucks.
But isn't that like that's like a one-time thing though? You could be a simp for that's like ultimate simp
Right,
right
but
there.
you want her attention, right? You want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
yeah.
they want her attention, but she's not going to give it to him if he's not sending that Venmo every other time.
No, but what she will do is she'll screenshot that because women love all that. They'll screenshot that. She'll post it to all of her followers. All of those followers will go to that simp, and then he has 20 bitches to pick from. What? I'm serious. Like, isn't that's a good formula? That's a good.
I feel like I mean I can't deny it because it's coming from you. What am I gonna say? No, you're like you know what I mean. It's coming straight from the source. I just feel maybe I'm just like too. I got too much pride.
You wanna, okay, you want to be the.
Hold on, say that again because you cut out for a second. Say it again. Say that again. I didn't
You
hear
want to
any
be
of
the
it.
Thanos of the simp?
Did you say the
You
Thanos
want
of
to
the
be
group?
the. Stop laughing. I said, if you want to be the Thanos of the simps, and you do that, and I promise you, you will report back to me and say, Natalie, this worked.
Oh, that
I
actually made
got,
me kind of sweaty. Yes.
I have 7 bitches lined up for the whole week now.
That's like $150 though, just to get some DMs back.
That's 100% guaranteed response rate. I swear to God.
What do you
And
think?
there's a whole community out there of that. It's called Findom or something.
What do you think about dudes that DM you that live like 5 hours away or in another country?
Oh, another country? Pff, no, that's not. No, thank you. Don't even bother. Another state? I mean, what do you mean? Like,
No, I just said like 5 hours away, let's say.
mm, I can work with that as long as you are willing to like see me.
That's true.
Other than that, you're wasting my time, then no.
Like, so like if they live close enough in proximity to where you're like, God, this is gonna be crazy. The idea of possibly like going on a date with them is like it's up in the air, right?
No, I mean, if you're older, I guess online dating like that, the distance is not that bad because you know that person will actually make a commitment to come down and see
Because they
you.
got money, right?
Right,
To
yeah.
do it.
It's not
Yeah.
just money, it's just like we're adults. We can make it work. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
How
don't mind the distance.
how far is it gotta be? What's your cutoff for like length? I mean, obviously it don't matter. There's always variables, right? But like if like let's say some dude lived in New York where
New
you're at.
York?
We won't say the city you're in, but like it's definitely not New York.
Yeah, I can make that work. I've already been somewhere from New York. Yeah, that could work. But I think for me, it also has to do with the location. Like if he's like, "Hey, I want you to come to Alaska," no.
Nah, nah.
I want you to come to Montana, Kentucky. Like, no, I'm good.
That's true. That's
You
true.
can come here. You have to come here.
Would you ever like how I don't know, how realistic is it for like some dude to hit you up? Because it's different for every girl. But how realistic is it for some dude to hit you up and actually be like, "Hey, I'm in Texas, like, but you're cool, blah blah blah." You guys go through the whole thread of messages, and then you guys actually start like having some type of like consistent conversation outside of just like the internet.
Oh, yeah, it's very realistic. If the conversation is good, if he's receptive and we actually have things in common, he's funny and it's good, then yeah.
What
I
would you
don't see why not.
what would you think if some dude started sending you memes or TikToks instead of trying to hit you up like just like because I've always thought about that. I was like, I wanted to do a course on it. It sounds dumb because I always say like I'm never gonna make an online course, but I wanted to do one on how to pick up girls. Because I'm back in the day, I was a veteran at this. Not anymore, but at one point. And I was one of these like notes that I made was like that I thought was a good idea was to find some type of funny meme or TikTok and start off your message with that.
I like it just because now it's the modern way of letting somebody know, hey, I'm thinking of you. This reminded me of you.
If it's a terrible idea, you could tell me too. I don't care.
No, I do that.
Like, so, do you?
Yeah.
Like, if some dude hit you up randomly, never talked to you before, and he just showed up in your inbox, like with like a fire meme or like the best TikTok you've ever seen, you'd be like, "This is great," or what?
Well, I would want content behind that. Otherwise I'd be like, why is he sending me this so random and weird? But if he sends some content with it, yeah, I would reply. Because
Like,
actually the person that I don't want to talk about my personal life, but okay, someone I was saying, that's how we actually started talking. We had known each other for a while
oh,
and we kind of just stopped talking. And then randomly I just remember sending them a meme and then they sent me one back and we would just send each other like 10, 20 memes almost once a day.
yeah, yeah.
And then it just like started picking
Hold up, you cut off again. Say that.
started to
Start
start a
picking up again, and then
conversation.
what?
Those are really great ways to start a conversation with someone.
It's true. I feel like you can get a lot out of somebody if you find out what type of like memes they're into and like what type of TikToks they like
Right.
watching.
So don't just send them like a random meme of like something weird. You have to know if that's even that person's kind of
True.
sense of humor because not everyone's sense of humor is the same. And you and I have actually talked about this before. my sense of humor, I feel like only you get, but there are a lot
Yeah.
of my friends, and there are certain topics that only you and I can talk about, but if we talk about them with other people,
Yeah,
it's
they'd
not.
be like, "What's wrong? What's wrong with these people?"
Yeah, you got to feel it out first. Don't start sending random memes to these women.
Yeah, like you can't get into that dark humor or like that gross humor or that like hood humor yet. Like you gotta like send some that's universally funny. Like you gotta send them that Kevin Hart humor before you send them that Dave Chappelle humor type of
Start it
thing.
out. Yeah, be definitely mindful of what stuff she's into and stick to stuff that you know she's gonna like put effort basically.
When I picked up, not picked up, but like when I had messaged people in the past, there was times where like I wouldn't do research, but like I would like purposely find like a picture on their Instagram that like stood out and be like I don't know, like ask them a question about like a trip or this and that and is that. And back in the day, that worked out well. But then now that I think about it, I'm like, that's kind of creepy. Cause like I'm also saying this because I'm curious about how
I
this whole
do it.
DM thing works. Cause like I'm not saying I'm going to. I'm just saying it's not. If I got you here, I'm gonna be asking a bunch of questions. I'm trying to figure some stuff out. Um, no, but like, is that like I want to be able to have people go leave this with like maybe like two or three things that they could try out that are like simple. That's basically what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, well, number one, like I said, just put an effort in the message that you're gonna send, even if you think they're not gonna read it.
What kind of effort though? Like be specific. Like not just complimenting them, like as in like don't send them a full paragraph either. Maybe a few lines, something like give me an
Well,
example.
okay, so I have a friend who reached out to this girl, and my friend has maybe 40 followers, barely anything on he has no presence on the internet. And then he reached out to this girl who posted a video of her dancing, and he just messaged her. And I remember he asked me, he's like, Natalie, I want to send this message. Is it creepy? I don't want to come off weird and creepy because she has 100,000 followers and she gets these all the time. And then I saw the message he sent her and I thought it was really sweet. It's like, oh no, she'll love that. And she literally replied to him. And the message said, I really like this video. Thank you so much for posting it. Gave, what did he say? He's like, it made my day so much better. I was having a really bad day because of my car, whatever. And just watching this video made me want to get out of bed and do something. So he put in effort and he was genuine. He genuinely did feel better watching that video. And she replied to him, and she wasn't just saying like, oh, thank you. No, like she actually said, hey, thank you so much, that means a lot to me, and whatever you're going through, it's going to get better. So she put effort as well because she saw that he put in effort. So um it's different for everybody. So if you're going to reach out to someone, make sure you stick to that. So if she posts a picture of her eating at a restaurant, you may want to say, hey, I'm gonna go to that restaurant. What do you recommend? Or did you like this and this? Cause blah blah. So put effort in
Yeah.
every single obviously pay attention,
And
or
what
if you got a place, say, hey, that looks really pretty. It looks like it was taken in LA. I think I've been there before. Is that, you know,
I see.
put effort into it.
Okay. So put effort. The other thing that I will say is like number two. We'll
Mhm.
do one or two more of these, but like the thing that I want to that I think was a great idea was how you're saying like just be consistent in notifications, right? Which
Oh,
I'm sure effort goes into the comments you're leaving. It's like that too. Be genuine, but like just actually show it because it's funny you say that. So like this my friend Janae that I did an interview with like a month or two ago, she said she didn't say that, but she said she was talking about like significant others. She was like, if I'm dating somebody, it sounds dumb. Like, but if I'm making content on the internet, whether it's YouTube or TikTok, it's like they should comment and like on all my stuff, not because I want people to know that we're like, hey, we're dating, but just more like it's like support. You know what I mean? So maybe if you're showing up, I get it's kind of like the same premise. Like if you're showing up and you're supporting their content without being a simp, you said earlier they're going to stand out a little bit.
yeah, 100% because they see hundreds of notifications and it's the same exact things. Love this, love your content, you look good, this is great, thanks, cute. But if you actually ask questions, I know for me, when I reach out to girls, whether it's on TikTok, I see hundreds of comments saying the same thing. And I'll say, hey, I really like this blouse. I have a similar one. Did you get this at blank, And then she'll respond to me. And I notice she won't respond to other people. So genuine stuff like that, they want to see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So put an
Consist-
effort in your DMs and consistent notification rate.
Consistency. Reach out to their smaller platforms if you really,
Mm,
really want to get their attention. That will definitely help because their smaller platforms are less overwhelmed with notifications, and you're more bound to stick out. You're bound to stick out more on their smaller platforms because they're not receiving as many notifications that will hide you.
it's a great idea. You know what I've told people before? I didn't tell people. I've told a friend back in the day this. Um, and I don't know if this is even like relevant to now, but when he was sending the DM, I was like, well, what are you leading to? Because he was like, he doesn't even know the girl. It's not like he was really like trying to like sleep with her. He didn't live that close to her. It's like he would have actually had to go out of his way to go meet her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I was like, dude, like, what are you trying to do? Are you just trying to get the conversation going? And he was like, I want to get her phone number. And in my head, I was like, why don't you just, you don't need a phone number to talk to her. I know that that's like a rite of passage because then it gets a little bit more personal. Like someone saying, oh, I'm going to be a little bit more vulnerable with you. So I'm going to give you my phone number. But really, it's like, you're already talking to him. What do you need that phone number for? Like, if you guys want
Okay,
to talk.
I'm going to tell you something right now.
Okay. Okay.
Phone number is useless. Don't even bother getting her phone number unless you guys want to talk on the phone. That's different.
Yeah. Or she
But
gives it to you on purpose, right?
right. But if you really want her to, or anyone, if you want to get that person to really like you, really get to know you, I think 100% messages are more effective. Why? Because I have a bunch of texts just sitting there. And this happens to a lot of people just because of how we're wired now. We have a lot of text messages sitting there, but we'll respond faster to a DM or a notification on a platform.
Sorry if my camera went out. Keep going.
Yeah, so we'll respond faster. Like, have you ever had that where your friend texts you, but you're still posting on social media and it's just like, that's awkward.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Like sometimes I don't really mind, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you'll be like, wait, I just messaged this girl. I just texted this girl, but I see she's posting online or vice versa,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? It's people, for me, I would talk to this guy through DMs every single day, almost all the time.
Mhm.
We never texted each other. Never. We
So
had
just
each other's number, but it was just, you just feel more comfortable, you know?
yeah, even though it's the same device, just different application, it's just
It's
almost
more
no point,
familiar.
right?
Yeah, it's for, I don't know why. It's just more, and you kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't know.
I know that I've had people message me their phone number and
Mhm.
like we continued to have the conversation in DMs, but I felt like just the idea of the passing of phone number was more of just like a subtle form of conversation in itself. It was just more like, oh, hey, I'm like not interested in you, but you know what I mean? Like if someone's willing to give you their phone number, it's kind of like, it's almost just like for the significance of it or the symbol of it, not necessarily because the utility of that phone number is any better than Instagram DMs. You know what I'm saying?
Feels more intimate and more personal and more familiar and just it's more effortless to communicate through DMs and text messages.
Yeah.
Well, I know that sounds so weird, but unless you know what I'm talking about, you're gonna understand. Like, it's easier for me to respond to a direct message way faster than it is a text message.
No, I know. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. My
And I
messages.
noticed that, so I will literally do that to you. Like, I'll send you a text, and I notice you don't respond, but then I message you on Instagram, and you respond, and I don't know if it's because it tells you this person has seen your message, or for whatever reason you get the notification, it's more like in your face. But I noticed that I'll message whoever, and I will get a faster response on social media versus the actual phone.
It's
They
true.
need to, they need to do a study on that. I don't know why, but
It's very true. It's very true. I don't know why that is either. Because like
I
I'll
can
notice that.
I will literally get my mom's attention. Well, not anymore because I don't have one anymore, but I would get my mom's attention faster on Facebook than I would if I were to call her.
Actually, that's true too. Because I don't use Facebook that often, but I got it for like family and stuff. But when people do message me on there, I'm like, this is out of nowhere. Let me pull this up, see what they got to say. You know?
Exactly. So if you want somebody's attention, don't think, okay, the goal is to get her phone number. No, because she's probably going to respond to you faster on social media than her number. Unless,
Then
like I said, the goal is to talk to her directly on the phone. You can say, hey, I really want to hear your voice, or hey, I want to talk on the phone for a bit. I have to drive or something. I don't know.
what about sending voice messages randomly, not long ones, like 10-second snippets? Because sometimes I be doing that when I like we send voice messages all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I do it with my friends too, but I get into the habit of doing that with people that you got those like floating conversations where they're just like, I don't know, it could be about anything, like a random post or you're responding back to a story that they posted or whatever, right? Um, Sometimes I find myself, even if I'm not close with these people and I don't really know them that well, that I'm sending voice messages because it's just like more simple and like it just I don't know. I just do it casually. But do you feel like that's like a bad step for people to take or what?
No, not at all. I think you should do it. And if you've been talking to that person long enough, why not? I do it when I have a lot to say and I'm just like, that's too long. I'm not even going to bother texting
What
that.
about when they're actually trying to pick up on somebody though and they've only, let's say they've had like 5, 10 messages back and forth with this person total.
I personally wouldn't find it weird. I mean,
Yeah. But you got to say something with it. You can't say something boring with it. I feel like if you said something funny with it,
I mean, make it sound like it's just a normal thing. Don't be
yeah.
like, hey, I want to hear you doing. No, and just be like, hey, I'm gonna send you a voice thing because I'm on my way to Target and I can't text, but
Yeah.
just keep and to answer your question, yeah, I have watched that show. And make it sound like it's casual, and then she'll be like,
Ah.
oh, okay, instead of, hey, I really love how you look. You look beautiful. That sounds weird. Don't do that. But if you sound casual and it's like, oh, okay, makes sense why he sent that, then I'll feel comfortable, and then you just get into the rhythm. There's a rhythm.
It's true. That's true. There is a rhythm. Like you do kind of pick up like the flow of conversation. Sometimes like people are good at banter or you guys just like vibe or whatever.
Uh-huh. Like, no, you'll know.
Yeah. And also, what's one last thing we could leave these dudes with that we could close them off with that like because I feel like this is geared towards dudes right now. Because like I mean like girls, I don't think girls have any problem DMing people and getting a response, you know what I mean?
I think just go for it,
Just
because chances are girls' inbox are not as full as you probably think they are. Their phones are probably dry.
you think
And
so?
100%. Yeah.
Oh
My
no.
phone, my phone is so dry. I don't even charge it when I go to bed.
But your inbox is just always going off though.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I think just go for it and be consistent. Even if
So,
yeah, just don't give up. If you really love her, don't give up.
that's true. That's true. All right, dudes. You hear that? If you just be consistent, show up in those notifications. When you send that DM, don't be a creep. Just be normal. Talk to her like a human being and not some I don't know, not some internet crush that you probably have on them. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah,
If you
cool.
wanna be like the super Thanos of The Sims, just Venmo her money. You're like, "Here's some, get yourself some iced coffee, queen."
That's like the red button in the glass that dudes are gonna be like hitting on their wall,
The
breaking.
final Infinity Stone. Bam.
It's,
So
I hate that you said Thanos. All right, cool. Well, do you have anything? Do you have anything else you want to say to them, Natalie? Any places you want to send them? Tell them to follow your Twitter, whatever. Where should they be sending you DMs at?
no, please don't. Unless it's Venmo. Just
Give them your Twitter though. Give them your Twitter.
if you guys want more advice, just follow me on Twitter, message me. I read all of them. Made of silk.
All right,
We'll
cool.
we'll get you that girl. Or that guy. Girl, guy.
Also, I want to say if there are any girls listening to this, which there probably is because my YouTube is like mainly females. If you guys want any female advice from a dude's perspective, as well as I'm sure Natalie's gonna be on here again because I'm gonna basically make her. Um, yeah, if you guys want any advice, leave it in the comments or send a message if you don't want to say it out loud, and we'll answer it all anonymously. Same thing with the
Yeah,
dudes.
send us all of your questions. I'd love to hear what you guys are struggling in and what you guys think should do, and we'll send you all of our tips.
There we go. There we go. Other than that, I'm gonna wrap it up. You good? You good? Anything else, Natalie?
No, we're good.
All right, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe, share this with somebody, and do that thing. Hit that notification bell. All right.